안녕하십니까. 반갑습니다. 저는 고에드 러브 FM 그리고 우리 고에드 선교회 NGO UN 안에도 활동하고 있고요. 그리고 저는 키키스타 방송을 통해서 함께하고 있습니다. 저는 뉴욕에 집에서 곧바로 이 일이 오려고 그랬는데 제가 사무실에다가 UN 그라운드 패스 이걸 놓고 와서 이걸 가지러 가니라고 다시 사무실까지 갔다가 버스 타고 뉴욕으로 들어와서 뉴욕에서부터 유엔까지 걸어왔습니다. 제가 유엔 조금 제가 투어를 시켜드리겠습니다. 같이 한번 보실래요? 여기가 유엔 들어온 입구고요. 여기는 그라운드 패스가 있든지 아니면 퍼밋, 들어오는 그 퍼밋을 받으면 들어올 수 있습니다. 누구든지 방문객 아이디, 그러니까 여권 가지고 있으면 들어올 수 있습니다. 여기 유엔 광장이고요. 그 다음에 여기 유엔 non-violence 이런 의미로 이렇게 해놨죠. UN 안에 있는 UN 빌딩이고요. 그리고 저랑 UN 안에 한번 들어가 볼까요? UN 안에 있는 UN 빌딩입니다. 저랑 함께 들어가 보겠습니다. 여기가 UN 안입니다. 이게 만델라 동상이죠. 평화, 자유, 인권의 상징인 사우스 아메리카 대통령을 지냈던 넬슨 만델라 동상을 이렇게 해놨습니다. 그 다음에 여기서 주로 공연들 많이 하고요. 여기서, 이 자리에서. 그 다음에 여기 이제 UN 인포메이션 데스크고, 그 다음에 이쪽에 이제 UN 전시는 여기서 주로 또 많이 합니다. UN 전시를. 근데 지금은 깨끗이 또 치워놨네요. 여기가 이제 UN 사무총장들, 최근 사무총장, 지냈던 former, 제너럴, 부분이죠. 이 반기문, 코피 아난, 그 다음에 보로 하길, 제비어 피레즈, 그죠? 이런 분들이 바로 UN 사무총장을 지냈던 제너럴 세크터리 했던 분들입니다. 그리고 여기 가면 이제 누구든지 와서 기도하는 장소도 있습니다. 누구든지 와서 피스풀하게 기도할 수 있는 장소가 있고요. 여기가 바로 기도하는 장소입니다. 여기가 UN 안에 본부 회의장이고요. 여기가 기도하는 장소입니다. 누구든지 이 UN 패스를 대면 문이 열립니다. 기도할 수가 있습니다. 저는 밑에는 주로 카페가 있고요. 또 여러 가지 샵들도 있고, 이게 이제 유엔에 주로 이게 이제 유엔에 주로 상징하는 전시물들. 그때 당시에 1940년대 유엔 제일 초창기 때죠. 유엔에서 사용했던 기물들. 그때 당시에. 유엔에서 사용했던 그때 당시의 기물들입니다. 타이프라이터 같은 거, 영사기 같은 거. 그 다음에 여기 여기 네. 여기 가면 유엔 이제 안에서 커피도 마실 수 있고 모임도 가질 수 있고 뭐 여러 가지 활동하는 장소죠. 여기 쇼핑몰이고. 여기 지금 화장실 커피숍도 있고. 여기 좀 내가 여기서 이제 유엔 지금 미팅하는 프로그램 1시부터 하죠. 저는 우리 NGO는 1시 반부터고요. 저는 에코속 모임을 가야 되고요. 에코속 모임이 어딘지 저희가 좀 찾아봐야 되겠어요. 여기가 커피숍이고 여기가 전시장입니다. 여기가 주로 전시를 이쪽에서 주로 많이 합니다. 내가 여기서 봐야 되겠네. 에코속 모임이 어디 있는지. 10시부터 유나이티드 유엔아이드 클로즈 퍼스트 미팅 10시 미팅 세컨드 미팅 선미팅 세컨드 미팅 세크레터리 카운슬 어워 클로즈 10 여기 지금 10시부터 fall season close second committee second planning meeting third committee fifth planning meeting fifth committee information consultation first committee 10시에서부터 economic impact UN 아이다 United Nations International Day하고 Old Person 10시부터 3시 에코소 여기 10시부터 3시 에코속 챔버 에코속 챔버 Thank you very much.
Ground floor. Going up.
Ecosoc chamber over here, right? Ecosoc chamber, right? Meeting.
Chamber?
Yeah, meeting over there. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Stephanie. Now, to the last panelist. So, when the Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disability was being developed and adopted, the slogan was "Nothing about us without us." Right? And it goes the same when we look at the human rights of older persons and developing policies and eventual a convention on older persons. So meaningful participation and empowerment of older persons is key in creating resilient and inclusive society, as High Commissioner said in his video message. And it is fundamental for human dignity. So I very much look forward to hearing your experience and examples of how we can build that empowerment and supporting the participation of older persons so that they can continue to be active and thrive in communities.
Thank you so much. And thank you so much for this opportunity to share my experience working with older population and younger generation too. I would like to start with one slide. The time to be happy is now. The place to be happy is here. The way to be happy is to make other people happy. This quote deeply resonated with me as it highlights the stark contrast between our current approach to care and aspiration of older persons. Everyone wants to be useful to others, regardless of their physical, cognitive, and age. These are differences. However, our current system often views older persons as recipient of care rather than recognizing their ability and potential to contribute meaningfully to others in their community. As our society ages globally, we must shift our mindset collectively. It is crucial that we begin to recognize older person as a valuable asset within their communities, empowering them to become catalysts for change. This transformation challenged the prevalent narrative of aging and redefined societal role of older persons. Older persons are increasingly being marginalized around the world, even as their numbers are growing rapidly. Far too often, aging is viewed as simply as a process of decline. The growth that accompanies aging invisible to society. As a result, older persons are effectively cut off from the flow of daily life. Their wisdom, perspective lost to the children and the younger adults. So how can each of us play a role in co-creating a shared future where aging is not something to fear, but as an opportunity for all of us to discover our potential and meaningful growth throughout our life? To create desirable place and space for aging and older people with purpose and meaning, we must begin by transforming our mindset regarding older person. Societal perception shapes how we design environments, which in turn reinforces our attitude toward users, in this case, older persons. To reshape this loop into positive loop, our starting point should involve incorporating the voice and experience of older persons. These are the image of the community that we worked on after that great earthquake in Japan 2011. Our objective at that time is to co-create community hub where older persons are able to go eagerly and engage and contribute back to society. This community hub was run by older person for last 10 years, and we just celebrated our 10th anniversary, and it's been operated by a group of older people in the community. This principle-based ibasho was developed to challenge prevalent negative perception about aging. It empowers older people to co-create program, operation, and physical environment where they can actually contribute back to the community rather than being taken care of. These 8 principles are derived from collective learning and experience from us, and it is enriched by the input of older person. And when you look at these 8 principles, those are very simple, common sense, but sometimes common sense can be difficult if our mindset is not set up right. So this the methodology for this ibasho principle, it is very, very simple. We empower older people and become a resource within the community. They become mentor, they become change agent, and they become a catalyst to the connective others. And together we co-create program, operation, and space, ensuring their self-sustainable management over time. And then we will integrate the ibasho 8 principles. So let us reflect some key learning from my and our organization's learning in changing our mindset through elder-led community project by placemaking. We aim to co-design places that empower older person to contribute to others, that foster the sense of purpose and meaning. We aspire to co-design space where older person actively participate in the decision-making process and will make sure that decision-making process, they will be included in the team. Our vision includes co-design space that ensure accessibility and encouragement of people of all ages and different type of interest to share in this space, respecting others' unique preference and needs. We endeavor to co-create places that facilitate intergenerational collaboration. In that, we address community issues together across the generation. Our mission includes co-design places that challenge ageism with older persons actively engaged in teaching younger generation In this case, older people are teaching digital arts to the younger generation. We aim to co-design plays. Older people play an active role in disaster preparedness for climate change-induced natural disaster. When our project lacks the participation of older people, we unintentionally perpetuate dependency through protecting others, ageism through providing special service for elders, stigma provided by specially designed service-built environment. And it might create segregation through age-specific design approach, and social isolation through excessive convenience and technology. In conclusion, I'd like to share a lesson learned from working with older people and community members. Community is something that we have to negotiate and create with others, not something that we can passively see. These quotes teach me and teach us, aging in place, intergenerational community cannot be designed for the older people. We must ensure to encourage their participation and design with them. And lastly, it's important we should design program and space enough and that leave enough room for them to create their own community where people of all ages gather, not to over design. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. And thank you for all these questions. I was trying to cluster them while I'm listening to Amy. And many of them address to Minka. So I've tried my best to a little bit paraphrase different questions to the panelists, and some of the questions can be answered by more than one panelist, so please feel free. And at the end, when you respond to these questions, I would also like you to end with some thoughts about one or two recommendations that you can bring to the audience today. So there are a couple of questions around ageism and social policies. How do we create more active engagement between generations to address those ageisms? And there's one particular interesting question about the intersectionality between gender and age discrimination. Maybe you would like to address that. And also, what social policies are needed to ensure those intergenerational cohesion. And there are a few questions, I guess, Stephanie can address around, like when you talked about the adaptation, it also comes with cost. And that was also a hurdle when the Convention on Rights of Persons with Disabilities was negotiated. So how do you look at the economics and the cost aspect of that adaptation? And also, if you like, you can also, when you looked at you talked about homes and transportation. What about other public places like parks and open spaces? How can that be a critical part of that environment? A few questions, I guess, for Liliane around advocacy and awareness raising. And basically the questions are, how can we all learn from the activism of the young people, and what are the sort of effective strategies to advocate for older persons' rights and intergenerational solidarity? And lastly, I guess these are for everyone, but maybe for Amy. When we talk about future generations, we cannot talk without mentioning about climate and environment. So how can that part be more integrated in our conversation for the rights of older persons? I hope we had a time to reflect, Ernest. So can we start with you?
All right. As I understand it, they're really, it's a two-part question. One is to unpack, depending on when you received your education, this will resonate with you, cumulative advantage and disadvantage, right? So there's a framework that suggests that multiple marginalized identities build upon one another in a structural context to lead to disproportionate negative health, economic, and well-being outcomes. So cumulative advantage and disadvantage. If you're in school now, it's also known as intersectionality. And these theories play off of each other quite well. For the person who's running the PowerPoint, if I could ask you to bring up this slide in that deck, it's hidden. So I'll hold as that gets pulled back, the second part of the question is about